While deep breathing and meditation sure seem like a good idea, there are people of other faiths who have issues, or at least questions, regarding yoga's origins in Hinduism. So what exactly is Hinduism? Hinduism is the dominant culture of India, which is descended from the ancient tradition of the Brahmins, the people of God. Arguably the most varied of the world religions, its common aspects consist of shared beliefs in Dharma, which encompasses duty, nature, social welfare, ethics, health, and transcendental realization. The experiences of Hindu spirituality range from extreme asceticism to extreme sensuality, from the heights of personal devotion to a deity to the heights of abstract philosophy, from metaphysical proclamations of the oneness behind the material world to worship of images representing a multiplicity of deities. The great spectrum of belief is due to the age of this tradition. In fact, it is so varied that scholars argue that there is no central tradition called Hinduism proper. There is a strong belief in karma, the universal law of cause and effect, which governs actions toward others with the reciprocity that your own self will be affected. As far as metaphysics are concerned, while there are, by some accounts, millions of deities, there's a resounding belief that all of these representations are the one God appearing as the many. This one God, Brahman, corresponds to a structure of the creator, Brahma, the preserver, Vishnu, and the destroyer, Shiva. All aspects of the Godhead are at work, keeping the world in balance. Krishna is the eighth incarnation of Vishnu, the preserver, who is said to incarnate physically on earth as a man to help people more fully understand God and our purpose here. This multitude of traditions advocates that spiritual living is the way to God by leading a life of compassion, peace, and devotion.
My knowledge of Hinduism is that it is a very humanity-oriented religion. That is, it's a religion which is very much oriented toward service to others, love for humanity, of harmony between human beings, harmony between all races and all religions.
I had the opportunity to travel to India in the year 2000 and spend some time with many, obviously, who are from the Hindu faith. What I found is that they were very amenable to the fact that I worship God, the one true God, and I find my hope in Jesus Christ. They acknowledge Jesus Christ. The aversion would be that they had many gods and mine was just one. Obviously, where we drew the line, and we did not agree, is they would say that's just one of many gods. And so we weren't going to agree that those were the same. It doesn't mean, like the bumper sticker says, that we cannot coexist and be cordial and live in the same neighborhood. But it is also actually intellectually lazy to assume that I believe the same thing.
I've been to India, and that's one thing I really noticed, that they have respect and love for your version of God. It's maybe not their version. Maybe they're worshiping Vishnu or Lord Shiva or Ganesh or whatever, but Jesus, wonderful. Baba Hariharananda used to say, religions are many, God is one. So you have this name, you have this name, it's all God.
It's really interesting that you asked the question that way, what are my views on yoga and Hinduism? Because the connection that you're making between the physical and the religious is exactly the problem with it. Hinduism is a pretty eclectic religious system that has been very adaptive in incorporating different religious views and spiritualities. I'm not even sure that you can clearly define it. They're Hindus that are at odds with each other over what they believe. Well, I guess being fair, there are Christians that are at odds with each other over what they believe.
There's one divine being who becomes the many individual gods. They are the one's faces. And so there's supposed to be a kind of built-in harmony among the various divine forms, in that they're all animated by the one. The scholar Max Müller in Germany coined the term henotheism as something in between monotheism and polytheism.
God is undescribable. It is very hard to characterize God as this or that. But the simplest way to describe God is that He is omnipresent. He is present within us. He is present all around us and everywhere. There is no place anywhere that God isn't.
Hinduism is God, you are God. And as you being God, then God is in everything.
There's never sort of straight out pantheism where the divine being Brahman is just the same as the universe. There's always transcendence. The universe comes out of Brahman. So there's a philosopher named Charles Hartshorne who coined the term panentheism. And that little N after En, after pan, gives this sense, says Hartshorne, of there being a transcendent being whose body is the universe. But just as we transcend our bodies, are able to move them around and so on, so God transcends the universe.